Hello. What if I literally just like started the video off like this? Hey guys, what's up? Oh my gosh, that's so like not me at all. Anywho, what is up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So right now, as you guys can see, I am in a hotel room and I decided that I was going to answer some of your guys' burning Q&A questions. I also have Sour Patch Kids. You guys know, like, I wish this was a sponsorship. It's not. I'm just obsessed with these guys. I am in a hotel room and it's super messy right now. I have to be out of here in about 2 hours. So I'm gonna procrastinate and try to answer some of your guys' questions. I also just really love the lighting in hotel rooms. I just think it's really pretty. But anywho, I definitely don't sit down and answer your guys' questions enough. I just really like to entertain you guys and I just feel like, I don't know. I just always feel like people don't care to like get to know me. They just wanna watch videos like that are super fun. Like they wanna watch 24-hour videos or they want to watch Starbucks videos and they don't really want to get to know me. But you guys have been asking for this and asking for it and asking for it. So finally, I'm giving you what you want. I have a lot of questions here. Also, if you guys have not already subscribed, make sure to go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. But with that very first question, what has had the most impact on your life? I would definitely say moving to Los Angeles for sure. What happens? Wow, you guys are going straight into it. What happens if you were on The Bachelor and you make it to the fantasy suite? So a lot of you guys know I applied for The Bachelor. I did not get on this season. I'm definitely going to reapply, just try for next season. I think that would be really cool. Well, I'm not gonna do what you think I'm going to be doing. That's for sure. It's the only time on the entire show that the two people are together with no cameras. And so I just really want to like get to know the person, I think. How long do you want to continue doing YouTube? I am totally down to do YouTube for the rest of my life. Like I would love to continue doing it all throughout my engagement, all throughout my marriage, all throughout my children's lives. Like that would be so cool. What do you look for in a guy? I really like a guy to be, one, a Christian for sure. I think that's like the #1 thing. Like I never want my kids to be like, wow, I sound so old right now, but I never want my kids to be like, well, why do I have to go to church? Like daddy doesn't go to church. And that right there is going to break my heart. But obviously I just want them to be a really nice person. I find leadership really attractive. I don't know if you were like super involved in college or you were in a sport or something like that. I just find that like really attractive. Did you consolidate your loans to pay them off quicker? Yes, I did. Would you ever do a meet and greet? Yes, 100%. I want to do a meet and greet. Literally, if you guys are in LA, hit me up. Were you popular in high school? No. Tips for high school or high school studying / getting good grades. Literally, it's like repetition. Like I loved making flashcards. Those are my favorite things in the entire world. I just have a really hard time learning, and reading has always been like my biggest weakness in the entire world. I will read words that aren't there, or I won't read words that are, and reading has just always been a struggle for me. So in high school, I didn't realize it until I think I went to college, but I had to work probably like 4 times harder than the average person in high school. But I think that's why I got such good grades in college, is because I learned those study skills, whereas a lot of people just skated by high school, and then when college hit them, it was a rude awakening. Do you plan on releasing more merch at any point? No. As of right now, I think we're gonna stick with the merch that's down below. That is a huge way that you guys can support my channel if you guys feel called to do that. I really love the merch that's out right now. I love the Ordinary sweatshirts. I wear mine all the freaking time. So I think it's here to stay for a while. I think that's definitely gonna be like the classic. What is your net worth? Not that much. What Bible story would you have loved to be a part of? Here's my thing about Bible stories. I don't think I want to be a part of any of them. Like people are like, oh, I would have loved to be a part of the whole like parting the Red Sea. If you have context on what happened before it, the Israelites were enslaved and then they're running and they're preparing for war. And then these other people are coming after them. Like literally like the Egyptians are getting ready to kill them. And then they go through the Red Sea and then they wander around in the desert for 40 years. Before they find the promised land. I don't think I want to be a part of that story. Like there's so many like people are like, oh, well, what about Moses? Everyone else in the world died except for Moses. Like I don't want to be a part of any of these stories. If I was going to be a part of any of them, I would have wanted to be on the boat with Moses. I would be okay with that. But at the same time, like all of your friends are dead. Like I don't know. I don't think I want to be a part of any of them. I like living here now. Are you excited for Christmas? Also, what is something that you want as a gift? I'm super excited for Christmas. I love Christmas. It's definitely my favorite holiday ever. Well, second to my birthday. Something that I want? I want a big fluffy robe. That is what I want. A really big, fluffy, white robe. What is your biggest turnoff when it comes to people? I hate when people flex on me. That is my #1 biggest pet peeve. Do not flex on me. I do not care what kind of car you drive. I don't care how much your apartment is. That is all. If people come right out and say like how much they pay for an apartment and they're like, oh yeah, I just pay like $4,000 a month. Like that to me is just not attractive. I probably just sounded so mean. I don't mean it in a mean way. I have had an ex-boyfriend that was very flashy with his money, and I think he thought that that would impress me, but it actually like, it made me feel poor. Like that is what it felt like. I love when YouTubers are so modest. I literally have a friend who is making bank right now. He's paying about $400 in rent, and he went forever without a car. He just recently bought a car, and the car he bought was a Honda. Like I love those type of people. Where do I put my friend application? If you guys want a friend application, definitely make sure you're following me on Instagram. A little plug over here. Feel free to DM me. I try to respond to as many of you guys as I possibly can. If I were to start a YouTube channel, what advice would you give me? Persistence. I think YouTube does give everyone a chance to have a following. It's just when. It's like what video is gonna blow up. You know, for me, I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been doing YouTube for about 5 years, and I'm still only at like what, like 140,000 or something like that. It's like I'm not crazy far by any means, and I've been doing it for 5 years. So it's just kind of like, it's not an if, it's a when. I love YouTube. I love making videos. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. If I could do this for the rest of my life, I would. TikToks, on the other hand, I hate. What happened with the Bachelor thing? Okay, so I get so many questions about the Bachelor because I did apply. I mentioned a little bit at the beginning of this video, but basically what happened was politics. Like I think that played a big role, and I'm not saying like that. I think it needed to happen. Everything that happened with like the Black Lives Matter movement and everything like that, and then the Bachelor really got attacked because they don't really have a lot of black contestants. So my guess is that that played a big role in it, and a lot of the contestants, they were looking for diversity. Do you have a tattoo? If so, where and what does it mean? I do not. You guys are gonna laugh at me. I like to be different. I love being different, and I think in a world where every single person has tattoos, I love not having one. Do you support Trump? That actually, you know what's crazy is I'm filming this before the election, so I don't even know who won the election. There's a difference between leaning more conservative when it comes to the economy and supporting Trump. They are two separate things, and I think people lump them together. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna vent for a second. I think people lump them together, and it's like, oh, if you're a Republican, you support Trump. You can lean more conservative, and I'm saying lean, not like I'm not crazy all the way over here. I wear my mask. I believe like a lot of the things that Democrats also believe, so I lean more conservative, but supporting Trump is just like so different. And I think people think that if you lean more to the Republican Party that you are a Trump supporter, and that is just no. Do you watch Skincare by Hiram? So I get a lot of questions like this because I did a partnership with St. Ives. I really like them. I've used them for a really long time, and I guess there's this YouTuber or something that is bashing St. Ives. I've never seen his videos. I've just used St. Ives for a long time, and I really like them. So have you ever fought with your roommates? Yes. Oh my gosh. So we used to have a roommate that was an interesting time. I'm gonna bite my tongue, but we had a roommate that was a little problematic, and we fought a lot when she lived with us, and ever since we don't really get into fights. Once you get married, do you plan on staying in LA? Not LA, because I don't think I'll be able to afford it. Guys, houses here are like $1.4 million on the cheap side. Oh, okay, so this is the perfect question to leave on. Have you ever got pulled over? Yes. A lot, actually. So the very first time I ever got pulled over, so I was coming home from the bar. I was not 21, and I was not drinking, but you get kicked out of the bar at 10. And so it was me and my friend Jess, and the day before I literally said I never got pulled over by a cop. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like we get in the car, we start driving. Next thing you know, I see lights behind me, and I was like, what? And the town is super small. You cannot speed in this town. And so we get pulled over, and the guy comes to my window and he goes, ma'am, do you know what I pulled you over for? And I was like, no. And he's like, okay. And then he goes back and he like does his little typing thing, and he comes back and he's like, new car? And I was like, yeah. I was like, well, new to me. And I'm like so nervous. I'm like shaking all this stuff. And he's like, well, ma'am. For some reason, I always think he has like some sort of southern accent. He did not. He's like, ma'am, well, usually at this time of night, people like to use their headlights. And I was like, Oh. And for some reason I just assumed that my car had automatic headlights, didn't even think about it, and I was driving around with no headlights. So and then a couple days later I got pulled over again because my tail light was out. A couple days later I got pulled over because this is so not my fault. I was going down this hill, and I guess down the hill is 35 and then up the hill is 55. What? And so basically, like, there was a cop, an undercover cop on the side of the road. I just literally thought it was just like a car on the side of the road, didn't think anything of it. And so I go down and I come up and he turns on his little headlights or whatever, and I got pulled over by an undercover cop. And so that was fun. And the cop was so nice when he pulled me over. Like, I didn't want to be one of those girls that cries to get out of a ticket. So I ended up getting a ticket, and then I started bawling. And he's like, is everything okay? And he had to have had daughters. I was like, this has been the worst 2 weeks of my life. I've been pulled over 3 times. I got in trouble with my internship and everything just sucks. And he's like, oh my gosh, he's like, if I would have known that you had had such a horrible week, I would have never given you a ticket, which I should have cried before. So note taken, everyone, cry before you get the ticket, because after they write the ticket, they cannot take it back. And so he's like, here's what I want you to do. Basically, he's like, I want you to plead not guilty, and I want you to go to court, and we're gonna drop this. Like, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. But then when I got to court, he could not remember who I was. But okay, guys, that was about it for my little Q&A. If you guys have not already, make sure to go ahead, hit this little subscribe button. I'm gonna have my most recent video over here and a playlist to all of my other videos over here. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you all later. Bye.